But Dr. Harden's going to tell you, he's going to tell you so much more than that. I don't even think, I didn't go through the numbers. It's 300, right?
Yep, I'm going over that right now. Pulling it up. All right, how is everybody? Couldn't think of a better way to spend your day off from the classroom, right? I know this is awesome. I know you're having fun. So I will try to be as efficient with your time as possible and give you the most information so that when you get to the video editing phase of this process, it will be pros and it's going to be less painful. Well, it's not going to be painful at all. It should be a lot of fun. Okay? So now I brought up just one sheet to just go over it so that you know it. And I just did a very quick Google search, typed in EdTPA video file sizes, and it's the first link on there if you want to do it. But just FYI, because I know there are a lot of different video cameras probably being used, a lot of different video, that means there's a lot of different video formats that might be recorded in. These right here, you see that first item on this page are the acceptable file formats that you're allowed to submit your video. And there's plenty of them. Most everybody, I've never really had anybody bring me a video that was not on this list. Just look, so that when you are making your video, that what you're attaching and sending to EdTPA is in one of these. So it could be FLVs, AIS, QTs for QuickTime, MOVs, which is what's made with Mac when you're doing iMovie, MPEG 4, which is a very common video file format, WMV, which is a Windows Media file, M4V. I mean, really, you should be good, but just make sure of that, okay? The other thing I want to bring up before we get into the program is file size, okay? It is important because EdTPA has an actual number that if you go if your video is in excess of this size, it will not upload and go get into their system, which means they can't score it, okay? So you've got to make sure your video gets under that size. Now, I will tell you, EdTPA, if I'm reading, this is their document, it's coming from Pearson. They have a preferred file size. It tells you right here that the target file size is 200 to 300 megabytes. This is per video. So if you've got a video, if you've got two different videos, that's 200 to 300 megabytes each. Okay? Now, I've read their instructions in more detail. That's their preferred size. But you can see on the next paragraph, the maximum file size limit is 500 megabytes. Okay? So that gives you an extra 200 to 300 megabytes to play with, which is good because modern day video cameras do record at very high quality. And if you're not familiar with video editing, the more you compress a video, the more the video quality suffers. Okay, we just want ultimately what we want is for your video to be just the best quality that we can get it, just so that they're focused on the content of your video, not the clarity of your video. Okay, so but pay attention to that. So when you get done editing your video, the programs I'm going to show you will actually have a number. It says your video is this big. Reference this. Make sure it's, if it's bigger than that, you're going to have to go to the file compression step that I'm going to show you. If your video, when you get done editing, if your video is under that number, hey, congratulations, you don't have to compress at all. And that's a win-win because compression is a whole other step that takes more time. Okay? So take a look at that. Any questions about that? All right? Good. So now, like Ms. Gilbert was telling you, video compression or video editing, unfortunately, I can't show you each exactly how to do it with the computer that you have in front of you because Macs are different from PCs. Macs even have different versions of iMovie on there, and they're slightly different from one to the other. So what I'm showing you up here may not be the exact program that you're going to use to edit your video, but hopefully I can show you enough of the basics of what you need to do so that with whatever computer you have, you can get the editing done. I'm always available to help if you need to make an appointment and come see me. We can work on whatever computer you have to do this. We also have a fantastic resource over at the Gorgas Library in the Sanford Media Center. They have people there, that's what they do all day long, and they're there until the wee hours of the morning helping people with that type of stuff. And they have equipment, you don't even have to bring your own computer. You just need to bring the video files, and they can help you cut, compress, and get it to whatever you need. And honestly, if you're not tech savvy and you would rather get some help, that may be your best option, just because it might save you some time versus you sitting around trying to figure it out, floundering around, and then 6 hours into the process, then you go see them. Okay, it may save you some time just from the get-go. You know, now if you're tech savvy and you do this type of stuff, go for it. Okay. But now, I guess let me show you the Mac first. How do I? Let's see. You got it on the PC first, right?
Yeah, but I think it's just a matter of.
All right. Let's just swap it over because I see you've got a video up here on this one. Do you have it up on this one as well?
She had all that.
Yeah. We just need to swap it to that one. Yeah, see, she's on HDMI.
Yeah, so
Let's go ahead and
it's
swap. Y'all bear with me just a moment. All right, so raise your hand if you're a Mac user. That's what I figured, most of the class. All right? Hey, you with a PC, don't be ashamed. I'm a PC user as well. I love the Surface. It's an awesome product. All right, so now for the Mac users, this is you, okay? All right, so you're going to use the iMovie program. Most Macs have iMovie already installed on them. If you haven't looked to see if your Mac has that on there, please look and see. Like I know Miss Gilbert's didn't come with iMovie.
$14.99.
Even if it doesn't come with it, $14.99 for a software program is pretty cheap. Okay, and you can certainly invest in that. Okay, but this is the iMovie program, and I'm going to maximize that. There we go. All right, so now the first thing that you have to do is you have to bring in or import the video clips that you want to edit, okay? Now, your best bet on this is to go ahead and just watch all the video clips. And I know you guys are going to record several hours of video. It's easier on you if you know which segment of a particular video you want before you bring it into iMovie. Because bringing it into iMovie is a step where you've actually got to import it, or it's doing all kinds of background work to make that video work within the iMovie system. So what I would simply suggest, before you even think about opening iMovie, go ahead and preview all of your video clips. Identify the rough time frame of the videos that you actually want to use. So for example, if you have a 10-minute video clip that you need to cut, go ahead and figure out where are those 10 minutes. Because you don't want to bring in any more video than you have to. Because video, I'll be honest with you, video editing is a time-consuming process simply because the computer has to do a lot of work. You may not be actively clicking on the computer a lot, but you may click something and have to come back several minutes later after the computer's done processing that request. Okay? So go ahead and identify the clip. All right? Now, your camera, if you're using one of our cameras, it automatically breaks your recording into clips. Okay, so if you recorded an hour-long teaching episode, it's not just 1 hour-long clip. That's going to automatically break it into a variety of different clips. Okay, so again, just look at them and identify the clips or the clip that you want to put into your video. Okay, so now looks like Ms. Gilbert's already brought a clip down here. Okay. Now, how much have you gone over with them about editing, anything at all yet? Okay. So now, here's the basic rules of editing for NTPA. There's no editing allowed. Y'all probably heard that. It's a pretty strict interpretation of the rule. What I mean by that, the only thing you're pretty much allowed to do is to trim the clip. You can't go in and splice clips where I want to cut off a clip right here. I want to bring in a second clip and start it right here. And you can't do that. It's got, however long your video is going to be, it's got to be a continuous clip. Okay? You can't like alter the clip to try to hide certain people. The only exception to that particular rule is if a student is visually caught on camera where they can be identified and that student did not sign the agreement form to be on film, you do have to blur their faces or alter it in a way that they can't be identified. Please try to avoid that if at all possible, because that is a painful process. Because that is not a simple task that you'll just do right here in iMovie. You probably will have to go get help from professionals that are good with video production, because that's a clip by clip by clip, or actually a frame by frame by frame process. And these cameras record at very high frame rates, which means you're going to have to edit a lot of frames to cut out a student's face. Okay? So you want to avoid that. So, now, I'm in the iMovie system right here. You see Ms. Gilbert's been working in here, and she's got a lot of different movie projects that she's already started. All the recordings that she's been doing with you guys, there they are. But I'm just going to create a new project. And when I click in the iMovie, it's going to ask if I want to do a movie or a trailer. I'm just going to simply click movie. Now I've got a clean slate, okay? Blank slate. So you can see right here in the middle, it asks me to import the media. So I'm simply going to click that, and then I'm going to search through the system to find any of the video clips wherever you saved them. You will have to save them. Best rule of practice is to save them to your computer instead of trying to import them directly from the little camera card, because your camera card is not going to run as fast as your computer. So go ahead and put them on your computer. Ms. Gilbert, just for the sake of quickness, can you find me some videos on your Mac that I can bring into the system?
You can think, all of those are FPGA except for that last one.
I don't know where, I have no idea where you saved them. Okay. Excellent. So we're looking at various video files that are on Ms. Gilbert's Mac. You can see she's probably got 10 of them right there. Again, I can click on all of those and download all 10 of those if I want. That's just going to require the computer to work more and it will take longer. But if I know, for example, this video clip right here is the one that I want, I can just download that particular clip. Okay? If you do download multiple clips, it'll bring them all up as an individual tile into this window. Now, if your camera naturally breaks your recording into multiple clips and that break includes what is part of the video that you want to send them, that's fine. That's not edited video. When you put those two clips together, it's going to play as if it was never edited, because it's not edited. That's just your camera breaking an hour-long video into clips. So if it takes two clips that come from your camera to do one submission, that's perfectly fine. You would just put those two clips in the right order on this screen, and it will automatically package those as one video when we're done. Okay? But when you find the video clip that you want to work on, you just, from the library where you placed it, you simply drag and drop into the editor. And what it's going to do is it's going to expand that clip into basically a timeline. So here is the entire video. You can tell right here, this particular video, I believe it said it was 13 minutes before I started moving around. Okay. You can play the video from here so that you can see, oh, this is a very, very short video clip. It's only 4 seconds long. That's why it's such a small video size. But this clip is 4 seconds long. Okay? So I can play the video and I can determine where I want to start and stop precisely. All you need to do is over on each side of the clip, you'll notice when right now I'm hovering on the right side, it automatically brought up the double arrows pointing in opposite directions. If I go and hover on the other side, it does the same thing. This is your time trim tool that basically lets you determine where you want the clip to start and stop. This is the majority of what you're going to do for this project, because that's all you're really doing is where does the clip start and where does the clip stop. okay? So let's say I want the clip to start right here. I'm going to start on the left end, and I'm going to drag it to wherever it is I want it to start. So if I want the video to start right here, I'm going to drag it to there, okay? Now, then I go to the opposite end of the clip, and let's say I want my video to stop right here, and I'm done. So I took what was a 4-second video, and I've trimmed it down to 1.3 seconds. Okay, now you're going to be doing this in a larger scale, so your video clip will actually probably run all the way across this screen, and you may have to drag the slide bar from left to right to see it. You could probably minimize if you want to see it all in one, but that's what you're going to do. Okay, so you get it. That's the 10-minute video clip, or however long your video clip needs to be. That's the video that I want to submit to TPA. Okay, so now when you get to this point, what you need to do is you need to save this as a project. Then you have to take your project and turn it into a movie clip. Because if you leave it as just a project, it's going to basically be an iMovie project, which is not one of those file formats that they asked for. An iMovie project would actually require them to open it in iMovie, which is not what they're going to do. Okay? But what I would do is I'm going to go up here. First off, I'm going to save it. And forgive me, I'm not a Mac person, so I'm not as Mac proficient as others. But save it as a project, and then you will see here, I'm looking at the File menu in iMovie, and then there's an option here to share this. Okay, this is where you're going to go to export your video into the final format, and it's also going to lead you into the area where if you need to, you can compress the video. Okay, so you have several options here where you can share this as an email. No, you don't want to do that. iTunes, no. YouTube, no. Facebook, no. Vimeo, no. Okay? You want to save this as a file. Okay? Now, that's the only option you need for this. Okay? So when you save this as a file, it's going to bring up this area. This area is where you're going to dictate the size of the video in its final format. Okay? It's also where you're going to determine the final name of the video. So right here in this box, this is where you follow the naming conventions that are in your EdTPA handbook. However you're naming all your files, follow that convention here in this particular area. So I'm going to call it EdTPA video just because I don't know what your actual naming conventions are. Okay? So that's where you do that. Now, you'll notice under this box, or under the actual video itself, it's giving you a couple bits of information. It says 1S. That's the length of my video. My video is only 1 second long. Okay? I don't think I'm meeting EdTPA requirements, but that's my video. It's 1 second long. Okay? And then it tells me right here the estimated size. This is where you really need to pay attention, because it's going to tell you if I need to compress my video or not. Mine is only 643 kilobytes. Now, let's stop and think about that. A 1 second video is 643 kilobytes. That is the equivalent of a couple hundred of those old-fashioned floppy disks on a 1 second video. That's just how large video files are. Okay? So mine doesn't have to be compressed because I'm well under the 500 megabyte max video size. Now, when you've got a 10-minute clip, it is quite possible that you will need to adjust that. And you can do that, all of that adjustment right here on the next side of this screen. Okay? Because you can see right now the resolution of my video is 1080p. That is the official resolution of high definition. 1080p is high def quality resolution. Okay, that's not necessary for what we're doing because they're going to be watching this on a standard PC monitor. They don't need high def quality to see what you're doing clearly. Okay, you can automatically decrease the size of your video by going from 1080p down to a lower resolution. Okay, 720p is still high resolution. It's just not as high def as 1080p. You can go that, and you can see, and you can estimate. It'll give you an estimate of what the file size would be at 720p, or if you needed to, you can go down to 540p, which is roughly standard quality TV before they invented high def TV. Y'all are probably too young to know what standard quality TV is, aren't you? It's just sad how old I am. Because I grew up on standard TV, thought it was fine. Yeah. But anyway, now if going down to these options still does not get you under that number, the last thing you need to do right here, there's just this little slide adjuster. This is an actual compression tool, okay? What it actually will do is if you need to compress it to make the final product smaller in file size, it will actually do some video compression. But essentially what that does is it degrades the quality of the video to whatever extent you ask it to. Okay? A little bit of video degradation is fine. It's not going to affect the overall quality of your video too much. Okay? Go ahead and be prepared. Your final video will not be the same video quality of what you see it on your recorded device. It just will not be, because we can't get it under that 500 megabyte limit in that high def quality. It just won't be. Okay? Don't be offended by that. And that's not a problem. NTPA does not expect high def cinematic quality videos to be sent to them. They just want to see watchable videos. Okay? So, but you can see, you can adjust this. It's compressing it more or compressing it less. You can see my video, if I take it all the way down here, it's only 232 kilobytes. If I bring that all the way up here, my video is actually 9.3 megabytes. You can see, so the larger the number, the better the quality. The smaller the number, the lower the quality. So you just slide this tool until you get it under that 500 mark. And if you're having to lower your quality, just get it right under that 500 mark and then stop. There's no sense in going down to 200 megabytes if you don't have to. Get it under that number. But anyway, any questions at this point? I know I talk a lot. I'm sorry. It's just what I do. Anyway, so when you've got this set to where you want it, I'm just going to click Next. It's going to come up and say, all right, this is your final saving of a finished file, the actual file that you will attach in live text and send off to Pearson. Okay, so you can once again change that if you need the file name. Here, make a mental note, write it down if you have to, where you're saving it, because you would not imagine last semester how many students get into this final saving process, and then when it's done, they're like, where did I save it? And they don't know where they saved it. Okay, right here, choose where you're going to save it. Now, note it, because this is not an instantaneous process, and then click Save. Then, the video will work. This is where you need to put your computer down, go get a latte, or take a snack, whatever you're going to need to do, because this is not an instant process. Okay, video editing is a time-consuming process. Your computer might sound like it needs to put on life support, because the fan's going to cut on, it's going to spin, and it's going to make noises, because video editing is the most demanding thing you can do with your PC, especially high-def video editing. Okay? How long it takes directly depends on how new your computer is and how quickly it moves, and the amount of compression you've got to do. If you're only compressing a little bit, you'll move along faster. If you're compressing a bunch, I've seen people that take a couple hours to get it all compressed. So I say that to lead you into the next part. Do not wait until the deadline for getting your video edited, compressed, and done to start this process, because it is not an instantaneous process. I would say you need to start this several days. Do you have guidelines on that?
They have deadlines.
I mean, before the
They
deadline.
already know exactly the 10 minutes they want. They just got to.
Yeah, I mean, whatever deadline she's giving you for submitting it, you need to start several days before that in actually editing, cutting, and compressing. All right? So if you've got to get it to her on this day, go on and back it on up and start that, okay?
And uploading, by the way, you need either need really great Wi-Fi, fast Wi-Fi, or you need to be able to plug in into the hard.
Yes, that's a very good point. When you get ready to upload your video, that means you've saved it, you're ready to put it into live text. If you have the ability to plug your computer into the internet hardwire, do it. It's faster, okay? As great as wireless internet is, it's still not as fast as hardwired internet, okay? Simply because you might be dealing with a fairly large video. 500 megabytes will take a little bit of time to upload into live text. Okay? But I would recommend, as soon as you save your final video product, watch it, make sure it works, it's what you want, and go ahead and put it into live text. That doesn't mean you have to attack it and submit the assignment yet if you're not ready, but put it into live text, because live text is like cloud storage. That way it's there. If your computer were to crash right after you do that, don't worry. It's live text has got your back, like we always do, okay? So do that. Any questions about iMovie? Man, either I'm really good or they are not listening. What do you think it is?
They are listening great, and you are really great.
All right. So now, iMovie. If you have questions about it, let me know. You'll have to bring your own because I do not have a Mac. If you need my help, you have to bring your own. Okay? Now, I will take a moment. Raise your hand if you want to boldly proclaim that you're a PC user. Thank you. I'm right there with you, okay? I'm a PC user all the way. Now, I'm going to switch over to, if I can find the right device. Do you know which one of these is going to link me up to this? It's beautiful. I want to go there. Yeah, Mom. Have you looked at this one?
I have not.
Okay. Well, it's glowing, but I don't see anything. It's glowing. It's not. It's actually plugged in. Does that mean I just need to do that? Well, I mean, which one of these do I push? How does it recognize between the two? I have to unplug this one. Oh, it's there. Perfect. All right, so now, for my PC users, if you're a Mac user, you can still listen because, you know, because that technology is just cool anyway. But anyway, you don't have to use this program. PCs do not automatically come with a video editing tool on them, but there are free ones out there made by Microsoft that you can use. There are lots of other PC video editing tools out there that you can get. Maybe you have one. Unfortunately, I can't show you step by step on every possible solution out there. So what I'm going to show you is a tool called Movie Maker. It's actually made by Microsoft. It's a long, tried and tested tool that they've had in production for a long time. It is free if you need it, because your PC probably doesn't have it automatically. You can just do a Google search, Windows Movie Maker. You will find it is typically packaged with what's called the Microsoft Live Essentials Bundle, meaning you're going to actually download quite a few different tools, and Movie Maker is one of those tools. That's fine. If you don't like all the tools, as soon as you're done video editing, you can delete all that software off your computer. But go ahead and note that. You need to factor that into your video editing time, that you've got to download the software before you can even get started. But the same rules apply. So the amount of megabytes and all that still apply. That doesn't change. You need the same file formats. Your final movie here is not going to spit it out to an MOV file format like our Mac users are. Yours is probably, if you're using Windows Movie Maker, it's going to produce you a final product more than likely in an MP4 video format, which is fine. MP4 is just fine. It might even spit it out, depending on what you choose, into a WMV format, which is a Windows Media Player file, which is also fine. Okay? Whatever works for you. But now, it's going to work very similar to what you saw on the Mac. Just looks different. In a lot of ways, it's actually easier, just because this doesn't have quite as many tools, not nearly as robust of and stuff, because it's free software versus a paid software that you're getting on a Mac. Okay? But now, when you open Windows Movie Maker, this is the screen that it brings you to. At the top of the ribbon, you will see that one of the first options in here is to add videos and photos. This is where you're going to import all the video files that you want to edit. Okay? So again, have all your videos already saved to the PC, taken off the camera, save them wherever. I'm just going to bring in a sample video file that I've got right here. Oh, it's a whale. That's nice. Okay. There's my video file. You'll see very much like what we saw on the Mac. It's going to take the video and show it to you in a stretched out timeline so that you can see. This particular file went pretty quickly because it's only a few seconds long. This is one of those time points if you're working with, if you try to import a 30-minute clip, it may take your PC several minutes to actually bring the video into the Windows Movie Maker system. That doesn't mean your computer's doing something wrong. It just means it's working. Okay? So I've got my video here. Okay? Now, just like with the Mac, all you really got to do is you look at the video file, left side, right side, drag it to the start point, to the end point of your video clip. The Mac had two little arrows pointing in opposite directions on each end. PC has a hand. Okay, so there's my hand. You can see I'm going through here and I'm looking at the video. I want to determine where I am at that particular point in time. Okay, now let me see this section on animations. Leave it alone. That's editing. You can't do that. Visual effects. Leave it alone. You can't do that. Okay, because that's editing as well. But there is an edit tool right here. Okay, this is probably the easiest way to do this. You've got a couple of ways that you can do it. But right here, there is a trim tool. Trimming, that's where you're going to cut the video, start and stop. Okay, so when I go to my trim tool, this works a little bit differently than Mac in that you're actually just going to go here and you're going to tell it, I want the video to start at X minutes and X seconds into the video. Okay? I want it to end at X minutes and X seconds. So you actually have to know that. So you have to go in, preview the video. So right here, let's say I want to start, oh, right there. That's 5.5 seconds into the video. And I want it to end right there. That's 22.5 seconds into the video. I know that, so I'm going to tell that. I want it to start, and it'd be quicker to do this. Okay? At 5.5 seconds into the video. Okay? And then I'm going to tell it I want it to stop at 22.5 seconds into the video. Okay? When I do that, I'm going to click Save Trim. You see the little stretched out preview of my clip? It just got small because I just trimmed out some time at the front and the end, dropped it away. Okay? So my video now starts at what was 5 seconds into the video and it ends at what was 22 seconds into the video. Okay, so just like that, I've done all of the editing that I need. Now, go ahead and save the project at this point in time. Now, look at this. I want you to note this. Just like on the Mac, this is saving the project. You do need to do this, but this is not saving it in the final format. If you send them a project file, that means they have to have Windows Movie Maker to open your video. Just like if you saved it in a Mac iMovie file, they'd have to have iMovie. But you save the project, okay? Then you have to save it as a produced movie, just like I showed you in the Mac version. And in the PC over here, what you do is, you've got all these social media options just like you had in iMovie. You don't want any of those. But right next to it, there is a Save Movie option. This is how you save it in a produced, polished movie format. I'm going to click that, and you have quite a few options here. The easiest thing to do, you can go down here and you can look at all the options. The easiest thing to do is just click recommended for the, actually, let's see what this comes up to. Let's see if I choose for high definition display. Yeah, I think if you do either recommended for this movie or high def display, either one is going to be just fine. Okay. Then you just click save. And it's going to save the movie. Now, this is going to put it into the final process. If you look at the video, this is one step where the iMovie software is better. if you look at this and it is too large, what you basically need to do is come back into Windows Movie Maker, and you need to save it in a smaller option, an option that produces a smaller product. Unlike iMovie, where I can adjust that little sliding scale beforehand to see exactly what the finished size will be, this doesn't necessarily tell you that. But you can see, just like that, my movie is saved as an MP4, which is a good thing. It's done. I can play it. I can open the folder where it's saved, or I can just close it out. But if for some reason my final video is too large, then I just need to come back to the Movie Maker project, and I'm going to come over here and click Save Movie again. And then I'm going to choose a different option that's going to get me a smaller result over here. Okay? Any questions?